Hey League fans, so with how much Janna's being played at Worlds, I definitely had to make a video analyzing how the pros use her in team fights, how they work around the Censer meta. So we're going to take a look at, in depth, some good plays and some maybe questionable Janna plays. So if you're not a support player, hopefully what you can learn from this is how to optimize having Janna on your team and team fight around her. And if you do play support like me, maybe you can think about some things we can all be aware of and potentially avoid. Bear in mind, even though I'm critiquing what the pros are doing, I'm just D5 trash, not anything special, but pros do make mistakes, especially under all that pressure. And probably more importantly is that most of them play the big playmakers like Thresh, Bard, Alistar, and so they're not exactly used to being passive or positioning a certain way on these enchanters. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the more questionable clips. Okay, let's talk about this crazy situation from EDG versus SKT. So EDG is up like 10,000 gold, they're absolutely dumpstering them, and we've all been there, where we're winning by a landslide, and then you do something throwy. Like, it's easy to understand. They're probably so happy, so excited. Not only are they beating the best team in the world, they're probably thinking if we beat them now, we might win Worlds, altogether, like, period. And then this happens. Holy, they get dumpstered. Like, it's every AoE, there's Twitch, there's Ori, there's CC from Rakan and Cho, Jarvan ulti. It's just bad. So you have to ask yourself, what could they have done for this to not happen? Okay, so I slowed it down here so we can look at this. So the critical moment is right here. They get the jump on them, Rakan flash ults and runs into the front line. So right there, that part is unavoidable. Like, there really isn't any counterplay to flash ult Rakan. But everything that happens after that, there are some things that I think could have been done differently. So most importantly, I'm wondering, Mako, what are you doing positioned so far in the front on Janna? You're like up there with the tanks. In no situation ever is that a good idea on Janna. You can't do your job as a disengager if the stuff that engages you CCs you and you get stuck along with everybody else. Okay, let's imagine Janna isn't right there and she's actually a few paces back, like below where I circled. So in this situation, she doesn't get caught in the initial charm. And that actually buys a lot of time because now she can react to the Rakan W. It has kind of a long wind up, it shows you where it's going with the circle, and people get out of that and respond to it all the time. And Janna's ult has a very large radius, so if she would have knocked him back in the middle of his animation, then the rest of the front line would not have got caught, and they have their flashes, Lucian has a dash, etc. So I think they could have avoided the Cho knockup and the follow-ups from Ori and J4 and the other people if she would have been positioned differently. Alright, let's look at another play. This one's in the C9 versus SKT game, and we have Smoothie on Janna. So let's check that out real quick.
It's so risky because if you don't see them, they just surprise you.
And it puts you on a timer. Jace, Hootie on the bottom side, trying to take the turret. Here they go. They're burning it quickly. The rest of the team coming around. TP just now channeled out from Hootie. Here comes Faker on the backside as well. Who can he find? The Shark's gonna find barrier from Jensen. The fight continues as he looks for the kill. The Syndra's getting low. Flank into the front lines. The kill comes through to Faker. 1-0 so far to SKT. He's bought the zone. He's getting away as well. This could be a trade sneak. He gets one. 4v4 in the fight, but the knockbacks continue, and Hootie gets himself the second kill as the carries from Cloud9 are all gone. A double now.
Okay, so let's look at this fight again in a bit of slow-mo. So the first noteworthy thing is that right here, Janna stops and shields the AD carry. And it's kind of a random shield. They're not close to like bursting Baron, the fight hasn't started, and shield is pretty important. So to me that seems like kind of a waste considering what's about to happen, which is that Syndra gets fished. She gets fizzulted. So Janna could have had that shield for Syndra to help mitigate the damage. So she probably knows that, and Smoothie flashes forward to knock away the fizz. Now the intention here is pretty good, so he wants to knock away the fizz, which would stop the Seastone Trident from proccing because Syndra got hit with the ult. So that's good, it stops a little damage, but it doesn't really get you that much. Maybe instead he could have flash tornadoed, because flash ulting someone, ult is a big cooldown, and it really works better on like a slow champion running at you, like a Yorick or something. But a Fizz has not one gap closer, not two gap closers, but 3 gap closers. So he is definitely getting to your carry. It's a matter of when. And you might as well have just used shield to mitigate the ult damage, and then save your ult for when he's on him and he's already used his cooldowns to knock him away, and also get value out of the healing from the ult. The next important point is that if Smoothie really thought the Syndra was in that much trouble, he should have redemptioned earlier. Because you see he uses it a bit later, but it's too late. Like if you lose a carry, really anyone for that matter is 45, it gets much harder to win. And their whole plan was to force a fight around Baron and win that 4v5. And I really think they could have. He needed to execute a little more precisely and be slightly less jumpy. But it's Faker, so I can understand. Okay, now let's move on to looking at some well-executed plays on Janna. A really good save here. He flashes forward, shields, heals, ults, like everything you need to do to save someone. This fight by AHQ is a great example of how to team fight as Janna and how the team should fight around Janna. So they stand in redemption, they stand in the heal, they all get Ardent Censer, they fight front to back and get shields, and nobody dies. That's how it's supposed to be done. They stomped SKT. Alright, for this clip let's look at Olay's Janna on Immortals. And for those that don't know, Olay is also Humble Diligent, who got to #1 in NA solo queue recently. So he's a damn good support. Boom, look at that knockback. That's pretty sick. So let's review that, put it in slow motion, because a lot of things actually happen here that are good. So, you know, within the confines of human reaction time, Kayn gets knocked back immediately after jumping on Cog, who almost died. And then they do a lot more to have to save him. He stands in the channeled heal. As, you know, Kayn gets back onto him, he gets Locket, he gets the redemption put down, he gets a shield, he gets a heal from Rise. So it was very good. Maybe he should have pre-shielded the Kog'Maw, but then the Kayn probably would have just went for Janna. So I've had that happen to me. Anyways, they lose this game, but it's a good fight. Alright guys, there you have it, some sweet support plays. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to come hang out on Twitch as well. The link's in the description. And yeah, enjoy the rest of Worlds. Hopefully there's some more good plays, and if there are, maybe I'll make another video. Alright, peace out.